Good afternoon, welcome back to Blackpool for continued coverage of the Ultimate Pool Series. We've seen some great quality pool played across the weekend in the Pro Series, and now we turn our attention to some high quality quarterfinals in the Women's Series. Mark Shepherd and Amy Beecham with you as we take a look at our first quarterfinal, Lucy Smith against Barbara Taylor. Afternoon, Amy.
Hi Mark, how are you?
Very good. We've seen a lot of pool played over the course of this weekend. This is the midway through the fourth day of it. You guys have been kept busy because of course you play with a group format first, so a lot of games to be played.
Yeah, groups over the first 2 days and then the knockout today, so you get a bit of free time over the first couple of days, but today gets where it's intense.
These two come in seeded 4 and 5, so no surprise to see them, or ranked 4 and 5 I should say on the provisional rankings. No surprise to see them in this quarter-final stage. So we've seen a lot of Babs over the years, no stranger to this stage. Lucy a newer face, but has had a pretty good season so far.
She was at the final of the last event, I think, wasn't she? Yeah, improving all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's actually quite helpful, isn't it, to have been out in this arena, because that's probably the thing that's hardest. I mean, you've obviously had a lot of experience over the years in world finals and big tournaments, but this is the thing that's hard to replicate.
Yeah, it is different, and the tables play a bit different. The table legs are a different shape. I always, absolutely without fail, will bash my cue on the table legs when I'm walking around. But yeah, the lights, and it can get to the first few times. That's a good shot from Babs. But it's where you learn to. That's where you want to be, really. If you're out there, you're doing something right, aren't you? So.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people find once they've been out in this arena, this is kind of where you want to carry on playing, because it's obviously fun in front of everyone. Great match conditions, perfect table.
Yeah, it looks like Babs has judged that well. She should get out now.
Quite a short format this compared with the Pro Series, so playing races to 5, 40-minute match clock. Kind of important to get off to a good start, because if you get a couple of frames behind, it's a long way back. Judge that well, 8 ball to the opposite centre. Pretty solid start. This is what you want to do. First visit to the table, get the job done. So as we get back to the table, Lucy Smith to break off in frame 2.
Strange technique on the break, but made a ball.
Yeah, it is a strange technique, isn't it? Very upright.
I've not seen her. I've played Lucy a few times. I've not seen her do that before, so obviously something new she's trying.
Yeah, I mean we've seen quite a few people try different things with the break to get more power into it. Some people visibly throw themselves through it. Generally the best players are the ones that are kind of playing with some control, get the power without completely chucking their bodies at it. Having seen Barbara clear up in that first frame, she obviously wants to hit back quickly.
Yeah, does the red on top of the yellow go in the middle from behind? You'd stun this one in on the right hand side, whether it'll go in the opposite middle.
Yeah, it's always hard from this camera angle. I think probably yes. Normally those ones where they look like they just about go, it turns out that they do.
Yeah.
So she can get through. She can get through to the one on the right hand side. Maybe a bit too tight. Well, I think in the end just slightly ran out of time. That was a slightly nothingy shot.
Yeah. Has tied it up though. It's awkward for Babs here. I think this could be a bit of a prolonged frame compared to the first one.
Yeah, sometimes if you're not going to clear up, just making a mess of the table is almost the next best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. In these rules specifically, if you don't think you're going to get them all, then don't pot any balls.
Yeah, which sounds really easy, but actually is a lesson that a lot of people are really struggling to learn.
Yeah, and you get carried away out there sometimes. Yeah, I just put a couple, it'll work itself out, and then you sort of pot yourself into trouble.
I think especially with this rule set where the perception is that you're best to be fairly aggressive, and you think maybe covering a pocket's not so useful, so you somehow talk yourself into just chasing after a finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rule set has proved pretty popular. I imagine it suited your game. You've probably been quite happy with it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a different way of thinking in terms of not having a second visit or a free shot or and obviously the lost turn shot. It's a different way of thinking, but I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, but I'm just happy I don't have to play World Rules anymore. To be honest, I got a little bit tired of that rule set towards the end.
Yeah, if you got tired playing it, imagine what it's like commentating on some of them. Yeah, I mean that was always the joke. I mean the top standard, it doesn't really make that much difference because people clear off the break, but you would occasionally get long frames which I think to a casual viewer are pretty hard to explain.
Yeah, absolutely.
The great thing about Ultimate Pool has been it's a very watchable format, played with a shot clock, no one's able to hang around. It's a difficult shot that when you've got to bump into a ball and then come back off the cushion and rest behind it. It's really hard to judge.
Yeah, a bit half-hearted as well, I think, because I don't think you'd gain much even if you got the snooker there. It's an easy one cushion hit and the reds are still not very nice.
And that is where only having the single visit after a foul does change the game a bit, because you can put the cue ball anywhere but you're still going to get the job done in one, which isn't going to be easy from this spot.
Yeah. I think it's a cannon for Babs that's not worked out particularly well.
It's hard to know what to do in this kind of tactical position. Years gone by, covering a pocket was usually the right answer, but it's a bit marginal in this rule set.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Babs played there, whether she was trying to get the pocket or the cannon, but still going to take her a little bit of working out this frame.
May not be the worst thing for Lucy, I guess, just to settle into the match. A slightly longer frame. Match time's not too much of an issue at the moment. Well, one for the highlights reel of the flukes.
Yeah, I'm not sure in the context of the frame it'll do her much good, but gets for another shot, I guess.
Yeah, it's quite a long way away. I mean, it doesn't actually do much for your confidence when you flick a ball like that. You feel a bit silly.
There is a way to be aggressive here. I think you could double the one close to the black and cannon into the other one, but it's low percentage, so choosing to just lay up, so sensible.
It is one of those spots where you're almost happy for your opponent to have a bash at it first, because it just doesn't look that tempting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Babs is just going to play the long plant and get the yellow towards the bag. Bit firmer than I thought she would, but half a chance for Lucy if the top one of the three reds together goes in the middle.
Yeah, she may be forced into something attacking because, well, the yellows aren't great, but they are semi-open, so may not want to give Babs too many more chances.
Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, exactly as you called, and that's actually split out pretty well. I think yellow to the red to the left of the cue ball goes to the bottom left. It's been a long weekend of pool for everybody, but obviously all these guys want to keep staying involved. It's going to be sort of back to back for the rest of the day for those that are winning.
Not sure she played that shot particularly well. I don't like the angle here is not great.
Just settle for the long one. Finished a bit awkward, hasn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to be any worse than straight on your last ball though. You play for it in a corner or the opposite middle. Oh yeah, good shot.
Cued it well. She's slightly off straight the wrong way though. It's now not the easy position. If the cue ball's 2 inches to the left of that, she can just screw back for the black.
Yeah, I think if you can sort of stun it in there and leave the white similar to where it is now, where the red is, you at least get a shot. And into the bag where Babs has got 3 yellows as well, so.
Yeah, generally covering a pocket's not great, but if you cover it with the black, that's the one ball
Yeah.
nobody can loss of turn in for you.
She's playing it in the middle, going round. Confident shot.
Yeah, she sort of settled for a longer shot, but with a slightly better angle.
Yeah.
Generally, these pockets are pretty receptive. There's no real reason to hit this very hard because she wants it to stay over the corner worse ways. I mean, it's kind of a pro miss that. You probably did want to err on the thin side, but it's disappointed it hasn't dropped.
So, someone that watches a lot of pool, would you play for a re-rack here? Obviously not straight away because it's difficult to do it straight away, but are you planning at any point to be aggressive, or do you think you play for a re-rack?
Yeah, it's very, very rare that you see people deliberately play for a re-rack, and even rarer that they get it. But actually, that's not a bad shout from there, because the options of getting these balls out when you know you're only ever going to have one visit just aren't great. So she could play it here. Not quite. Although actually, short of getting a re-rack, that's almost the best outcome, because there's a very tight gap, which Lisa's going to be forced to at least attempt.
Yeah. I actually think this is probably a little bit easier than it looks, because you can sort of hit the bottom cushion first and hit the black on the way up, so I think she should make this. Played it at the right pace too. Yeah, Babs knew when she played the shot as well that she'd left that. So.
Right, it came perilously close to that, but it was just too hard really for the referee to call it. There was no I think it was Jordan Shepherd, there was just no reason to make an attempt, but he was sort of making a semi-valid attempt each time.
Yeah, if it's a difficult snooker as well, it's a difficult one. Glad I'm not a referee.
Yeah, it's a tough job, isn't it? Because people only
Absolutely.
ever call out the errors when things are going well. You just never get noticed.
Yeah.
It's been a long weekend for the referees. The ones that are out in these main arenas have been doing 3.5 days straight already. Slightly messy layout this, with the balls over on the right hand side cushion.
Yeah, I think she's just looking to lay up off one of the bottom ones. I think she just wanted to get the colour set and then play safe.
Generally best to play safe earlier on in a frame where there's more balls left on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just taking the back.
I mean, there are attacking options from here. She has got ways into both of the clusters.
Again, just choosing to lay up. You can't really blame her for that, where the yellows are, but I think she has lost a turn here. Clip off the red and pot the yellow.
Yeah, that's kind of the trouble, isn't it? You cover a pocket and your opponent immediately comes round to look at how they might pot it.
Yeah.
Well, I say that's the trouble. I mean, that's kind of the virtue of the rule set, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe the yellow is enough away from the bag to make it difficult, but
I don't know if I'd be too tempted to move this one. Is she going to punt this yellow out?
yeah, I think she's looking to put free the red and put the yellow the other side of the red so it still doesn't go. Yeah.
High tariff shot that. I mean, it doesn't go, but it does go to the opposite corner.
Yeah, also if Babs was to get the white ball towards the bulk line, she could use one of those yellows to play inside the red and clear the pocket. So yeah, that wouldn't have been my choice of shot personally.
Depends on the opponent as well. I mean, against a lesser opponent, maybe you do want to open it up, but Babs isn't really that opponent.
No, certainly not playing a nobody. I mean, maybe the red goes past the yellow on the left-hand side, so she's looking at ways to be aggressive, but it looks tight from here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think she probably would be able to squeeze it in cushion first. Since you've got the problem with the ball tied up above the right centre, but it's not the worst place to flick out. And in fact, she's going to bump it out now. Really is going for an attacking route here.
It's a no respect shot, isn't it? I rate that. Let's have a look at your Babs, she's saying.
Yeah.
You don't get them, I'm going to. Crack on.
Don't know if she's going to love the answer. Although, I mean, they're not rolling, so
No.
there is some logic to it. it's also very frustrating when people do throw down this kind of gauntlet. If you don't get them, it
Yeah.
does play on your mind.
Absolutely.
It depends on this yellow. I mean, if there's any suggestion the yellow goes past the red, then Babs is in great shape. Well, not past a pot, but that'll work.
Are the two reds on the baulk line a plant?
Yeah, they're not a million miles off, are they? Look like they're maybe just pointing towards the near jaw, but maybe could be made. The tables have somewhat turned here because Lucy had set up an attacking option, but now she's on the back foot. Well, you could see the thinking, but I think she needed to get a tighter cue ball there because she's left a choice of 2 pots. The easy one is obviously the one over the bottom right, but it's the ball above the cue ball now that's the difficult one to get to. Yeah, it does clip to the right centre, but I'm not sure how tempting that is because you lose the cue ball.
I think I'm tempted to this just because it's very difficult to get back on it any better. But yeah, tough shot. I overcut it.
Doesn't look a terrible leave at first glance. She's obviously left the ball to the bottom left.
I mean, if this one goes in the middle, then it's a decent chance.
Yeah, if there's a gap here, this is a good chance. It's only going to be the one difficult ball on the right cushion now. What do you do with the one on the right cushion? Just leave it as a double or try and disturb it?
For me, I would leave it as a double, although it's a little bit more questionable on these tables because it's a little bit harder to judge than what we're playing on out in the arena. But I think with the yellow over the bottom right, yeah, I'd be playing a double. Maybe not now, but yeah, I don't think that was the right time to play it personally. But I'd want it to be a bit of a less of an angle on it, but.
Yeah, it feels like if you were slightly straighter on it, it would have been a more certain shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess she was just kind of tempted because she was quite nicely on it, and then once that's in, everything else is there.
Yeah, good chance for Babs now.
Yeah, it is. There's been a bit of posturing for position in this frame. Both players have sort of gone for it, but not quite.
Yeah, it's wasted a fair bit of time on a match clock, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I'm sure out in the arena you're not a fan of the 6 red, but maybe you could be tempted to one from the commentary book.
Absolutely not a fan of the 6 red. I should smash the pack if I'm ever in one again. I think Babs has played a bit of a loose shot there. I think she might have been trying to get on the one on a rail, so bit of a reroute, but still there.
Yeah, she wanted to move those 2 first because she's got to play a shot here. I mean, there's a decent margin for her up the right hand side, but she wants to try to get a little bit closer if she can.
Yeah. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, that's actually a really well hit shot. It's very easy to mess those up. If you don't catch the cushion as expected, you either finish a long way short or you can sometimes fly off into the middle of the table. So just got to control this one up the right hand rail. Try and leave the ball straightish to the left centre.
Yeah, I mean, if you do want to hit it a bit harder, I think you can sort of pump it in and leave half ball cut on the last one. Just depends how you. Some people prefer to roll balls. I prefer to hit them a bit if we can.
Yeah, I mean, if she's got the angle to get through, it would make the next positional shot easier. And she has. Wow, she's left that way short. I mean, I know what she's thinking there. Those balls are unmissable down the cushions at pocket weight, but obviously you've got to reach the pocket.
Yeah.
So neither player really wanting this frame at the moment.
No. The fact she's not already down on this, I would suggest that the top 2 aren't a plant.
Yeah, agreed. If it was an easy plant, this would be an ideal starter ball. It's obviously quite a lot. She may start to try and make it, but it looks like it's quite a lot of angle.
Good white.
Yeah.
Good thinking, but she has left a gap.
Yeah, the thinking was right. If she just, well, I say that. I mean, I suppose if you're playing to pot it, you don't want to snooker yourself tight in behind the black either.
No.
So how positive does she want to be? I mean, ideally, she wants to come out and leave the cut into the middle.
Yeah, I think this is okay. I think you can just play this at a bit of medium pace and you'll be fine.
Yeah, played that nicely. The reds now, the middle of the three reds is now well in play, so she's just going to negotiate that.
Yeah, I think you just have to hit it a little bit harder than maybe you want to and kind of move the red out of the way. Oh, she had the angle to go past it. That'll do. Puts her hand up.
Yeah, he said contact on the red, not that one, but that's a nice little nudge. Yeah, it didn't look like she quite had the angle to get past, and had she not carried the red, I think she was going to be perfect on this. She'd have had a shot, of course, but this is an easier one. So, scrappy third frame. As you rightly say, over 20 minutes off the match clock already, so just over halfway through the match. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I thought the first time she did that she was just stood up because something had disturbed her in the arena, but
bizarre.
It's a very odd break because it's not like she's putting mammoth power in it. It feels like you could easily achieve that from your normal position.
It feels like she's trying to time it rather than power it, but I mean she's left up a really good chance on either colour here, whichever colour Babs chooses.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose to be fair, it was a good split of the balls, and she potted a red. It's just you can't. Well, she potted one of both, in fact, but you can't afford to pot the white.
Absolutely not. Not if you're leaving splits like this.
And for Babs, this is just a lovely position.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a case really for either colour. Yellows look like the choice. Cue ball her hand, of course, behind the break line, so more access to the yellows from where she currently is.
I think she's a little bit too much angle on here. I think she'd have wanted to be straight on this to then come down for the two beneath the black. Maybe a bit of a reroute.
Yeah, she will be disappointed because when you've got ball in hand, you expect to be able to manufacture the angle. She's now going to have to play a bit more of a shot. Those two to the right of the black are sort of easy if you're on them, but quite hard to get to if you're not.
Yeah, I wonder if she can play this and play into the red that's sort of top right of the black. Just come underneath. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, that's turned out pretty much perfect. Just going around to look at whether that one even goes to the top corner. I don't know if that's necessary, but just checking what all the options are.
It doesn't go in the middle, so I think you will probably have to, unless you can screw up and play it in the opposite corner, but this is tight.
Well, that's a good nudge. That wasn't bound to turn out perfect. I mean, positive shot to play. I don't know if that would have been everyone's choice because there was a risk of getting tied up.
Yeah, I think it was difficult to get back on that yellow, so I mean, great chance now. So
yeah, she's taking these well, and 3-1 is starting to be quite a decent lead. Lucy's played some individually okay shots, but just haven't quite strung it together so far.
She's controlled that really well.
Yeah, it's not always that simple when the ball's close to the pocket. We've judged it nicely.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not entitled to a ball. That was one of those ones where lots of balls have moved. You feel like she could well have made one on another day.
Yeah, but a good chance for Lucy if this one cuts into the top left. I think she's favourite to get these. Top left, top right, whichever way you're looking at.
Yeah, it'd be a good frame to win, wouldn't it? 3-2 sounds an awful lot better than 4-1. And to your point, it's sort of nice for her to get in and have an open frame where she can go after them rather than getting bogged down in a safety exchange.
Yeah, that nudge and to put that one over the other side of the middle should suit her as well for getting on a difficult ball.
Yeah, the one above the red in the bottom right hand corner if you drop behind it.
Yeah, looks like she's going to try and move it maybe now. made it worse.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
I think that's maybe a little bit of difference between shot selection. I think if you see someone like Mick or Clint or any of the top pros, I think they'd have been playing to get on that ball because it did go in the opposite corner. Just needed a bit of control.
Yeah, she did have an angle. I mean, it's possible that she was trying to get on it. She did have an angle to drop behind it there, and she would have had a choice of another ball if she'd missed it. Maybe it was an unwanted cannon, or maybe that was what she was trying to do. It's all right still in that she's still got that ball over the right centre, but now instead of dropping behind, she's actually got a cannon it.
She overhit that one slightly, but still okay.
So she can go right, left, right here. It's just all about that last shot to break out the difficult ball.
I think it probably still does go in the opposite middle, but you've got to be very, very accurate with the white. Not a shot that I would be confident on. But yeah, still a decent chance there. It's a good shot.
Certainly for her prospects in the match, she could do with getting one back here and not slipping 4-1 behind. She's got quite a good angle here. Is she going to play this one now, or is she going to play the other one first?
I think you have to play it now. And play to get on it. Short.
Yeah, the trouble is with where that ball is over the middle as well, she was always going to have to be in a position where she could get back up for the yellow.
And I think that was the point of when she tried to move it, that shot she just played there. But if she hadn't moved it, that would have been a lot easier to get behind it.
Yeah, imagine that's her analysis as well right now. I mean, it's such a results-based thing. You play a cannon like that and it comes out and everyone's saying that's a good shot, that's made it easier.
Yeah.
She's played that well though. She's
Absolutely.
on this one to the middle.
Not too much to do with the white either. As soon as you just pot it, you will have a shot on the black if you can just miss the middle pocket.
Yeah, going to have to travel a bit, but it shouldn't be a problem. There's a bit of space on the left-hand side of the table.
Not close, unfortunately.
Not sure I'd have played it like that. It looked like she had the angle to clip it in the middle and come up and down.
Maybe slightly too thin
yeah,
in the
maybe
middle. I
too
think
thin.
it was just the other side, but perfect scenario for Babs now, because I think you get your bad balls out, play a couple of snookers, and then you're instantly going to waste some time off the clock as well.
Yeah, and even though it's not like she's going to hang on to the 3-1 lead to the end of the match, but getting into the last 10 minutes of the match and put all the pressure on Lucy to chase after it won't be the worst thing.
No.
It's always annoying when you miss your last ball, you just end up chasing it around the table.
Yeah. I mean, if this frame takes another maybe 3 minutes and Babs wins it, then you 4-1 with 9 minutes to go is obviously a nice place to be.
Especially as Lucy's had a chance in this frame, it's doubly annoying to lose it.
That shot wasn't on, I don't think.
No, that was a tricky pass she was trying to pull out. So, ball in hand for Babs. Doesn't really matter in truth where she starts this clearance. Wants to get the one off the bottom rail, which is fair enough as a starting point.
Yeah.
She knows how good Lucy can be, so she'll be very keen to get this match done while she's clearly got the upper hand. It's a sort of short enough match that it can turn around quite quickly.
Yeah, and again, it now turns the pressure around, because if Babs then doesn't get these and it goes to 3-2 and Babs has this as a chance, then again it's a turning point. It's a bit of a loose one.
Yeah, several inches further to that side of the table. She wanted to come on and off the top cushion. Would be anywhere near that corner pocket.
See her in the background there, just giving her shoulders a bit of a loosen up. So I don't know whether she's maybe feeling it a bit out there, but hasn't looked like it so far.
The fact that she didn't move any of the balls at the top of the table means it's very easy to bail out of this clearance if she wants to. She can just basically play the same snooker again.
And again, played it really, really well. This is where Babs is very clever because she's cut off the side rail, one cushion escape. A very difficult hit now.
She left the thin edge of it between the reds.
That's not the end of the world, though, is it? You just getting the yellow out of the way for Babs to clear the reds up.
Yeah, I don't think she'll mind at all if Lucy goes for it because she can't get enough. Well, the angle of the double's not there, and she can't get enough pace on it anyway for that. I don't think.
I mean, if you can see, you just got to hit it as hard as you can. See what happens.
Well, I think she could see it, but she's flicked the red on the way through, so it will be ball in hand. I mean, I guess if you're going to foul, tying up one of the reds is probably the best case, but still, Barbara's still got all the time in the world to sort this out.
Yeah, she looks like she's keen to be aggressive here, and absolutely can't fault that, but I also think there's an argument for just playing another safety and getting Lucy to move the yellow for you.
Well, that's sort of what she's done.
Oh, yeah, okay. Tactical genius.
Not quite as played, but I guess she'll take the outcome. At least she's got to hit a cushion, which she does. The balls are all open, and surely now Babs has got to go for these. Well, maybe not.
I think she's just going to get this one back out and put the white on the bottom rail. But she has left the one cushion.
Yeah, this one isn't a safer one to leave, although it is going to be relatively hard. The white's going to be going close to the corner pocket if she makes the pot.
Yeah, as you said.
So what's the trouble with that shot? You kind of can't do anything else, but you just know the white's heading that way. So we've had a couple of false starts, but surely now is the time to take these out.
Yeah.
And we have wasted quite a lot of time during this exchange. 8 minutes 30 now left on the match clock.
Yeah, this is now a massive frame.
As you say, 4-1 is going to be a huge lead because there'll only be 7 or so minutes left at that point. We're unable to provide commentary for where the cue ball was meant to be there.
Maybe, I think potentially she was trying to play into the red near the blue spot that she's about to pot now, and then she'd have been on the one bottom right. Good shot.
Yeah, that's a good recovery shot. Back in position now. Just going to obviously leave a path through to the red over the bottom right corner. Fairly natural shot this. This ball's far enough away from the cushion to be a comfortable pot. Not the absolute formality of the 8 ball she'd probably have liked, but still a very makeable shot.
Yeah, I think Babs will just drop this in dead weight. Nope.
Wow, this is your moment, Lucy Smith, because this is a chance she really shouldn't have been getting.
This is a massive shot as well, with the way this frame has gone.
I mean, if Barbara Taylor goes 3-2 from here, she's going to be kicking herself.
Good shot.
Yeah, very good shot from Lucy, and a very routine black now.
Do you see Babs' shoulders slump a little bit in the corner there? She knows this is one that's got away, but she'll be looking to bounce straight back, obviously. Yeah, it kind of worked out in a way because I was able to win those 3 and I was able to have the pick of who I wanted to play. In a way that's kind of favourable because I didn't get called out again or random drawn again. But I certainly wasn't feeling like that at the very first moment when the name came up.
Yeah, that must have been a horrible moment when you're out first.
I still had trainers on. I was just like, just sit back, relax, it'll be alright.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 1 in 16 chance of playing. It's feeling fine at that point. But then again, that's obviously the fun of it, that random draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very different format from this tournament.
One of the ideas I had forward was if you win your 3 out of 3, you should then be able to pick the entire next match, which I won't be in favour of if they bring it in next year and I'm a victim of it. But for example, after I've won 3, I could then go Harriet and Emma, crack on, and then you'd have some big games early on, you'd have some new faces sort of later on. So I think that'd be quite fun, but I think there's some different ideas for next year. So
yeah, that's a good shout. I can get behind that idea. Well, it also sort of spices it up. I mean, obviously, understandably, you're trying to create a bit of narrative around it, to give something to talk about, who people were going to choose. It was different as well, because some of you obviously knew each other very well and knew a lot of the field. Some people knew a few names in the field, but perhaps didn't know who would be a good name to pick out.
Yeah, and I think there were a few instances of that where, you know, if there was Amy Hallis for one, who called out Marion in a third match, was someone that was picked out early because people didn't know her, but those of us that know her from years ago know how good she was.
I think the people that had it right were the ones that were saying they were calling out people that just didn't have experience on that match stage, because that's the tough thing.
That was my theory, because it is when you first start there, and if you've not played in a tour, it is a big change. It's a lot to get used to. But actually, I thought that the players that were new out there handled it really well.
Meanwhile, Lisa's just played a very adventurous positional shot, came the wrong side of the red, but has turned out okay.
Turned out perfectly, hasn't it? Did put her hand up there.
A little bit close to the side cushion than she wanted, but she'd still be a routine 8-ball. And suddenly, from a position that could so easily have been 4-1, Lisa's got a shot for 3-all.
Yeah, good finish.
Will we see a bit more pace on the break from Babs, the frustration of what's happened?
Yes, is the answer to that. Absolutely yes. But not the kindest split.
Yeah, she's potted some balls. 2 reds and a yellow down. Not a terrible split, but it's just not quite as good a one as you want at this point.
No.
I mean, there is a clearance. You could double the ball that's on the right hand rail.
Overhit that one a little bit.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like she's chasing this, although that having been said, the safety options weren't great from where she was.
No, she had to go for it, which is why I think the split off the break was horrible, because they were open enough that you had to go, but it was awkward. So I think she was trying to get a bit further over to be able to screw into it, but tough now. You can still get into it, but needs really, really good cueing.
So, in an attempt to get into it, kind of hit the ball where she wanted it to be, not where it actually was. Quite a long way away from that pot. Now the red and yellow do plant down the right hand side cushion, so if you could play a cannon into it, you could promote the yellow towards the pocket. To do it from here.
No, I think there was an argument of playing a safety first. She's going for a double or just playing a safety? It's a great shot. It's absolute madness, but it's a great shot.
Yeah, I'm with you on both of those assessments. Well, she's growing in confidence. Having got things back on level terms, it looks like she wants to get ahead. Be a great moment to go ahead as well, because there's only going to be about a minute left on the match clock.
Use your extension also here. Run the clock down as much as possible. Back yourself that you're not going to miss these and waste the time as well. Yeah,
and for Babs, who should have had a 4-1 lead, she's suddenly going to find herself in a race against time to even stay in the match.
That was a loose shot though. She's not going to be good on the black now.
No, I mean she's not even going to be great on the last yellow. It's going to be very hard to get good position. No choice but to leave this from distance. And when I say good position, I mean she's got the wrong angle to come down for the 8-ball.
Yeah, you have to just drop this in, push the red on the rail and back yourself to make the black, I think. Great shot. Didn't realise she had that much room.
Yeah, playing it in a very positive
Here's
way
your
now.
extension.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Has she remembered now? I'm not sure she has. Well, I don't think it will make a difference because there's going to be under a minute left, which is still going to be a very tough ask.
And it's lucid break too, isn't it? So if she makes a ball, she's won the match.
Normally when people do the standing up there, it's like they can sort of get more of their body through it, but she's not really trying to get much pace into it.
And it's bizarre that she comes downwards first. Dry. Chance, good chance.
Yeah, these actually aren't bad at all.
She needs to hurry up though.
Yeah, what do you...
She's called the extension. You've not got time, Babs. Get running.
Yeah, she's thinking about the shot clock, not the match clock, isn't she? She's going to run out of time here. She's totally run out of time.
Yeah, I think she's lost track of
all
these.
Over. Oh, what a shame, because these were actually quite a nice layout.
Yeah.
She got the dry break she needed, but 36 seconds is not long enough now. She's only going to get a couple of balls into this clearance. I think she's going to be surprised as well, because I just don't think she's realised where the match clock is.
There's still quarter of a chance here if you hurry. Don't queue, just hit it. Now she's realised.
Oh, she could do this. What a finish this would be. Come on. She can drop this in the middle. Screw back. She's actually got time to do this.
We've lost the clock. Where are we? What time are we on?
Oh, she's missed it.
I'm also not sure the red had stopped. If she hadn't have wasted the time at the beginning, she'd have got them.
Well, what an end. What a dramatic match that ended up being. That didn't look that likely at the beginning. It was quite a tame start, but then once Lucy got back into it, she raced ahead, and then Barbara had a great chance to level up. So, in the end, Lucy Smith goes through by 5 frames to 3, booking her place in the semi-final. Barbara Taylor provided a lot of entertainment there, but didn't quite get the job done.